I got to go to the last event with Fedor against Arlovsky, and I got to tell folks, you need to tune into CBS on Saturday. There's an aura about this dude. The whole story of Fedor to me is just completely intriguing. The guy's walking by in the hotel, and it's just there's just this Olympic, like old school, back to the 70s, 80s mystique about the dude.
Yeah, it's like right out of Rocky days, man. I mean, even on the warm up yesterday, he came in, he started jumping the rope and like doing pull ups, like. Yeah, it was just crazy. And he's wearing a suit from the 70s. He's like, he's just total mystical dude, but he's the nicest guy in the world. I just interviewed him. He's wonderful, caring, kind. He wants to be a good, kind person after he smashes you. During the smashing, it's like he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's cracking me up. He's walking around. He's got Dave actually has a zip-up jacket, says Russia across, like he's an Olympian. Yeah. There is that mindset with the Eastern European and the Russian athletes that still goes back like 40, 50 years.
Well, one of the things he said in his interview was, my father and mother brought me up to have a strong love of God and of country, and I fight because I want to fight for my country. I want Russia to be proud. Yep. And just that statement, we were all floored. I mean, just the concept and, the thought of that.
And I still believe, we cover a lot of UFC, and obviously, you used to fight for UFC, and so the Fertittas, Dana White. It really wasn't about money. No. I don't think it was. I think it was about respect, and there was something else in that whole negotiating process, and it doesn't matter to them. I mean, we mock on that. We've been kind of poking fun at the guy because I do the blog up on Yahoo about his sweater. He's got this 80s sweater, and they might be the only sweater the guy owns. He doesn't. He could be a zillionaire. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Simple guy.
He's interested in the fight.
Yep.
And he knows it's a way to make money for his family. He knows it's a way to represent his country, and that is a very powerful, force to drive you to do something. He's, I'm really intrigued by him, and even just sitting with him for 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I know of him. I've never sat down and really tried to converse with him.
Right.
The guy is, he's a demon.
Is it possible that he's overrated?
Is it possible? Anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a sport where it's nearly impossible to not lose. The sport is designed to get better every time someone else goes out.
Mm-hmm.
The odds are you will lose, and you'll lose in the way you never imagined. To be able to not have a loss. I mean, I went 10 years without losing, but I only fought once in a while. This guy's fought the best in the world and never lost. That's nearly impossible.
What was your take on the Arlovsky fight? Because as I'm watching it, I'm like, wow. He is really calm in there. Fedor is really calm. And then yet other people were like, oh, he's losing. He was getting really frustrated. Yeah, but in the end, the supposed unimpressive performance, he still knocked the guy out and spun him in the air.
Yeah. Well, the backstory of that is Fedor was sick. He came in that fight. He didn't feel well. He didn't really want to fight, but he had to. He made commitments. He never lost his face. That's what he says. I never lost my face. He never showed any emotion. He was technically losing that fight.
Okay.
But, he didn't lose the fight. He won the fight. It was a big mistake on Arlovsky's part to jump in there and take a huge risk like that. But, Fedor's been hurt, but he's just never been finished. No one's ever even come close.
And he's always got the resilience if he is in any kind of trouble, not only on the feet to pull off a knockout because he's a surprisingly heavy-handed guy, but the submission game is outrageous.
It's fantastic. I mean, there are little tiny holes. Like everybody, there's little tiny holes in his style. But, you see it. You just can't do anything about it.
Now, that said, and again, the event is on Saturday night at CBS. What's the fourth time now, network TV, so Strikeforce now has Fedor. He's going to fight a guy, Fedor-Rogers. Fedor-Rogers essentially is, a tackle from the NFL. He would, if he played football, he could easily weigh, 320 pounds.
Yep.
He carries 265 into the cage, probably walks around at 285. Surprising guy in terms of his skills already, and the one thing against Arlovsky that I was really impressed with, the hand speed is ridiculous for a guy that big.
Yeah, nobody at 285 should be punching that fast. It makes him incredibly dangerous, and that's why he's in this position. He's a real athlete. He's just never had any experience in sports.
Mm-hmm.
His sport's fighting, but he's showing it, man. He is showing it. The look in his eye and the intention and focus that he has right now. If anybody's going to beat Fedor on Saturday night, Fedor-Rogers has a chance.
So how does he go in there with a puncher's chance, potentially outstrike Fedor and not go to the ground?
He's got to stay. Fedor doesn't do well when he backs up. Fedor is a forward-moving and a pendulum-swinging, fighter. If you put him on his heels, he loses all power. He has to be kind of in charge of things. Rogers beats him by putting him on his heels, getting him defensive from the start, not letting him, find the angle and jump inside. And he's got to do that with punching. He's got to, keep the jab out, keep the right hand out, and force that distance out there.
And
so
do
he's
it.
Got to stay.
And do it not being overly aggressive. Though.
Yeah, he can't be overly aggressive. He can't run in, but he has to stay. At the end, he has to stay right there with his stick, and like he's going to poke the beast. We call it poking the beast, but he's got to stay right there in his face and force him to either engage or back up.
That's Frank Shamrock. He's hanging out here in Chicago with us. We're getting ready for the Strikeforce event on Saturday night. So if Fedor were to lose the fight, is that some sort of embarrassment, or do we need to get? I mean, obviously we're going to find out how good Rogers is if he can actually beat him. I just, covering fighting for as long as I have, and Dave's covered boxing forever. I love how it's just the ups and downs where a guy is unbeatable, then he loses, and it's like the entire invincibility thing is gone. Like guys
Totally
are going to
gone.
lose fights.
Yeah, and in this sport you're going to lose. It's inevitable you lose. That's why it's so amazing that he hasn't lost, because it happens. Eventually it happens. I don't know, man. He's got something. There's something. Rogers has, I don't know. There's just, Bruce Lee said, the most dangerous man in the world is an ordinary man with laser focus.
Okay.
Right now, that's Brett Rogers.
All right. You don't think he's been given kind of an unfair hand with the fact that it's a Russian fighter? He's the American, and he's had to carry this promotion, which is crazy. But I mean, he's been really busy this week. I mean, you've had to push cards.
Oh yeah.
Can that be a distraction?
What
do you think with him?
It's a huge distraction.
Okay.
Everything. Brett Rogers is the American dream right now. Literally. A couple of years ago he was changing tires. There's something about that that's intriguing. There's something about that's interesting, but there's also something about that has a hunger behind it. And I just think I don't think Fedor's going to go out there and just smash him. I think you're going to be looking at a competitive fight.
All right.
That's my opinion. And I've seen Rogers move and spar, and no one at 285 should be dancing around like that.
He's a good athlete. He really is. Second best fighter on the card. If it's not, after Fedor, who is it? Is it Mousasi or is it?
Yeah.
You think it is?
Absolutely.
Okay. He's ahead of Jake Shields.
Yeah. Mousasi's in another level right now.
Mousasi's people who haven't seen Gegard Mousasi. He's 24 years old, and you know what? Amazingly, and they come from different areas, but I kind of think he has the same demeanor as Fedor, which is kind of freaky.
Yeah, and I just sat with him as well, and he's, he just loves it. He loves he doesn't have to work, that he goes each day, and he as he explained, he beats up his 10 friends. He's 24 years old. He's got the most amazing future ahead of him, but what's unique is that his approach to it is not one of an American kind of, I want to be famous, I want to do this, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. He just wants to make good money and not work hard and have fun. What a great mentality.
Is he the one guy at 85 or 205 who can, and maybe you can name some others, but who can beat Anderson Silva?
Oh, yeah, I think he would. I think size-wise, Silva might have an advantage on him, just because I think Silva's a bigger guy. Mm-hmm. But I would give that to Mousasi.
Really?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Look at you.
This kid,
I like him too, but I
like him.
After watching Silva, and I know Forrest Griffin
Yeah.
may not be at the same level as someone like Mousasi, but the defensive instincts now and the timing that Silva's developed is pretty freaky.
Oh yeah, he's there, and I've seen him grow up as a kid. I mean, I saw one of his first fights, and I've seen him fight in Japan for years and years and years, and I've seen him get better and better and better. But Mousasi, it comes from a different world in that he didn't learn a martial arts style and then add other styles to it. He didn't, he learned real MMA, like kind of straight from the source, straight from the start, the best kickboxing, the best of this, the best of that. And then as a smart guy, just like Bruce Lee, he shaved off all the stuff that wasn't important. Now he's got a beautiful flowing fighting machine with very few holes in it.